Deuteronomy 8:10 to 14 reads, "When you have eaten and are satisfied, praise the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God, failing to observe his commands, his laws, and his decrees that I have given you this day. Otherwise, when you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine houses and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large, and your silver and gold increase, and all you have is multiplied, then your heart will become proud, and you'll forget the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery." Part of Israel's forgetfulness had to do with living the good life. In Egypt, they struggled. In the desert, they struggled. But now, being able to occupy and settle down in a good and plentiful land caused them to be ecstatic. But Moses warned them about that too. God knows the human nature. He knew the temptations his people would be facing. So he warned them to be careful not to disregard him once they started living a better life. God told Moses in Deuteronomy 31 that soon the Israelites would prostitute themselves to the foreign gods in the land they were entering, forsake him, and break the covenant they had with their great God. Instead of continuing in a state of gratitude and appreciation, God's people pushed him aside and went their own way. Selfishness and pride are the main destructive factors that bring us to the point of forgetting God. Deuteronomy 8:17 and 18 reads, "You may say to yourself, 'My power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me.' But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth and so confirms His covenant when He swore to your forefathers, so it is today." We forget about God when we put ourselves on the throne. If we want to think that all of what we have and accomplish is due to our own efforts, we put ourselves at risk of having God teach us a lesson on humility. Selfishness and pride causes us to push God and assume control. I know what I'm doing and I'm going to do things my way. That never works out. When our lives are going well, we can forget about God. Other things take precedence over God, and before long, we find ourselves pushing the things of God further and further away. We can be more serious about God when we are in trouble, but forget about Him when life is good. Sometimes, when calamity strikes, we can turn away from God. But we need to be like David, who said in Psalm 119:61, "Though the wicked bind me with ropes, I will not forget your law." Neither should we. Whether times are difficult or times are easy, we need to keep God and things of God at the forefront. If we lose our focus on God and neglect our spiritual disciplines long enough, we could push Him so far away that we would forget about Him entirely, and that will may result in consequences. So let's be watchful, be blessed.